Wallflower, huh?
Well, nobody's asked me to dance.
I can fix that.
It's official, Hearties. We're heading back to Hope Valley. Season 12 of When Calls the Heart wrapped up on March 23rd, and fans were eagerly waiting to hear if the show would return. After a lot of guessing and hoping, Hallmark finally spilled the tea. While the finale was airing, star and executive producer Aaron Krakow shared a video on Instagram announcing that When Calls the Heart is officially coming back for a record-breaking Season 13, set to premiere sometime in 2026. Season 12 ended on a highly emotional note, and the final scenes left fans with a lot to think about, especially in terms of what Season 13 might bring. It wasn't just a cliffhanger, it was a reshaping of lives, relationships, and the very sense of home for Elizabeth, Nathan, Little Jack, and Allie. So, what does this all mean going forward? Let's unpack it. First off, Elizabeth's decision to leave Hope Valley, even temporarily, was monumental. We've seen her fiercely devoted to this town over the years. After all, it's where she built her life after Jack's death, raised Little Jack, built friendships, and became a pillar of the community. So when she chose to leave everything familiar behind, it wasn't something she took lightly. Her love for Hope Valley has never been in question, but her love for her son ultimately outweighed even the deepest roots. Because Little Jack's health was in danger, Elizabeth had to act. His diabetes diagnosis brought a rush of fear and urgency that shook everyone. This isn't just a minor plot point, it's something that drives Elizabeth's entire arc this season. The early 1900s didn't offer much in way of reliable treatment for diabetes, so the fact that he even had access to insulin through the University of Toronto was a small miracle. But miracles need infrastructure, and Hope Valley simply doesn't have it. That's where Fullerton comes in. Even though Elizabeth has tried everything to make Hope Valley work, including turning Faith's clinic into an experimental drug center, it's clear that the town doesn't have the equipment or consistent supply chain necessary to manage Little Jack's condition long term. That's why her mother-in-law Charlotte's suggestion about relocating to Fullerton gained more weight. It wasn't just about a better clinic, it was about ensuring a future for her son. And even if Hope Valley is home, it may no longer be the safest place for him. But what's especially heartwarming and hopeful is that Elizabeth doesn't make this journey alone. Nathan, Allie, and Little Jack are with her. Their impromptu family has never been official on paper, but emotionally and spiritually, it's very real. Nathan's last-minute dash to catch the departing taxi might have felt dramatic, but it made one thing abundantly clear: he's all in. He sees Elizabeth, Allie, and Little Jack as his people, and his decision to leave with them shows that his loyalty and love are unwavering. So what might Season 13 explore with this new arrangement? Well, for starters, there's the whole question of permanence. Is this trip to Fullerton temporary, or is it the start of a new chapter entirely? We know that Elizabeth still has commitments in Hope Valley, her role at the school, the ongoing curriculum development she was preparing to present to the board, and of course, the friendships she treasures. So it's likely Season 13 will deal with her balancing act between her past in Hope Valley and the potential future she's building elsewhere. And let's not forget, even though they've left, there's a strong pull from Hope Valley. Faith, Rosemary, Bill, and others aren't just secondary characters, they're parts of Elizabeth's extended family. It's hard to imagine her staying away forever. So, Season 13 could explore her attempt to return, but this time with a clearer understanding of what her family needs and whether Hope Valley can ever truly provide that. Also, the Nathan-Elizabeth dynamic is finally evolving. After seasons of will they or won't they, and a love triangle that tested everyone's patience, it feels like the show is saying they will. But it's not all rainbows and roses. The bond they're forming is rooted in shared responsibility and mutual care, especially for Little Jack and Allie, which brings real challenges and compromises. Season 13 might dive deeper into what it means for Nathan to take on a father figure role and how Elizabeth navigates her own feelings after such a long emotional journey post-Jack. Meanwhile, back in Hope Valley, the gold coin mystery has reached its climax and it's surprisingly emotional. While the season may have started with intrigue and suspicion, especially with Edie Martell in the mix, it ended with a touching twist. Uncle Ernie, the man everyone suspected, actually used the gold to help Edie build a life and become a lawyer. That revelation adds so much depth to the storyline because it flips the narrative. Instead of criminality, there's legacy. Instead of greed, there's love. Even though Edie chooses not to keep the gold, the discovery allows her to reflect on her past and future. She'll receive a finder's fee, which could set her up for new opportunities, possibly opening the door for her to stick around Hope Valley a little longer. Her dynamic with Lucas also feels like it could develop in interesting ways. The two have chemistry, even if it's just intellectual at this point. With Lucas stepping into a new political career, his connections and influence could also bring more resources and maybe even change to the town. Speaking of Lucas, his absence from Hope Valley to pursue politics has shaken up the rhythm of the show. Some fans might have worried this meant he was being written off, but his behind-the-scenes role in helping with the insulin trials and supporting Edie suggests he's not gone for good. His character could return stronger than ever, possibly as a more prominent figure with ties to medicine, law, and government. Season 13 might see him using that power to bring structural improvements to Hope Valley, helping it evolve in a way that could entice Elizabeth and her family to return. Then there's Rosemary, who, true to form, just can't let a mystery go unsolved. Her determination to find the truth about the gold coins might have started out of curiosity, but by the end of the season, it's clearly about justice. She's not just a nosy reporter anymore, she's a truth seeker and a moral compass for the town. Her partnership with Bill and Nathan shows us what happens when curiosity meets compassion and integrity. You can bet she'll play an even bigger role next season, especially if new secrets arise from Ernie's map or if Lucas's political life brings more tension into Hope Valley. Let's also not forget the younger generation. Timmy, Angela, and Emo are stepping into adulthood, and Oliver has just passed his Mountie test, though his performance on Elizabeth's graduation exam raises some red flags. It's a bittersweet moment. They're growing up, but it's clear they're not entirely ready. That gives the show a chance to dig deeper into themes of mentorship, responsibility, and second chances next season. Elizabeth, as both a teacher and a mother, may feel torn between her roles. If she chooses to remain in Fullerton, will she return to teaching? Or will she find new ways to advocate for education, perhaps working with the school board on a broader level? If she returns to Hope Valley, will she be able to balance her son's medical needs with the demands of the classroom? These are all threads Season 13 could pick up on. And although Faith and May did their best to support Elizabeth and Little Jack medically, the limitation of Hope Valley's resources were made painfully clear. Season 13 could see a more concerted effort to upgrade the town's medical infrastructure. Maybe Lucas helps from afar, or perhaps the town bands together to fundraise or petition for better services. Either way, it would tie into the broader theme of community coming together in times of crisis. Season 12's finale sets up big changes for When Calls the Heart Season 13. Elizabeth's departure shakes things up, not just for Nathan, but for all of Hope Valley. Relationships are shifting, and the town is clearly in for some emotional growth. Season 13 probably won't give us answers right away, but it'll explore how the community copes and whether something lasting can come out of all this upheaval. Even with the bittersweet goodbye, there's still a strong sense of hope, fitting for a place like Hope Valley. And that's a wrap for today's video. See you in the next one.